So welcome back to Storytime with Cullen, and today we're doing something a little bit different. We're going to be talking about the car itself. We're not going to be doing any driving, there's going to be no action shots, so if you want the exciting shit, then move on. Just skip this video. So today we are at Legends West Auto Care, and so they are a shop in the San Gabriel Valley. They're located on Rosemead. You guys can follow them here on Instagram. So I don't wash my car often, but when I do wash it, this is where I take it to. So mention that you found them through me, and they might charge you 10% more. But anyways, on to the serious part. Today we're going to be talking about GTRs, and it's not often that I record GTRs, and this one behind me is a 2013 Premium Edition, and this is going to be Andy's car, or that blue GTR, which is here. And you know, GTRs don't really do it for me because at that price range, it's not really, doesn't really have the aesthetics, the lines of a supercar or a sports car in general. So it's very rare that I like GTRs. And there was one GTR that I recorded before, and this is probably one of the second ones that I can, you know, kind of interact with that I want to talk about. So it's not often that I like GTRs, and this is going to be one of the few examples that I do like. And one of the big reasons is the choice of parts on this car. So visually on the exterior, it's going to be a Varis Ultimate Widebody, and it was the first authentic one. And so it's going to be the 2017, not the 2014. Visually looking at it, you know, from stuff that we can see, it's going to be T37 Ultras in bronze. So the bronze does slightly differ from your OG TE bronze. And then it's going to be more of that Z40 bronze. So it doesn't really have anodized lip. And there's some other exterior features. So this basically has the full front bumper, the splitter, the canards, side skirts, fenders, front and rear, the rear bumper, the diffuser, and then the hood. So this kit is probably somewhere around 20,000 American dollars or United States dollars. And this kit is basically it's the highest tier right before you get the Kamikaze, which is the basically all-out ball and build. And that kit I think is closer to 30K possibly, I'm not too sure. It's all out of my price range, I can't afford this, so I don't look at it too much. But I know about them. And so Varis, if you don't know, is a brand from Japan, so they're very similar to Voltex. And they're probably two of the biggest and most common brands that you see on builds nowadays. And Voltex is more commonly known for their wings, but Varis does produce the wing. And they produce a swan neck for the GTR, but Andy went with a 1800mm Type 2 Voltex instead. And then, since this car is a 2013, you guys might notice the Thunderbolt headlights and the tail lights, which came off the, I believe it was the 2015 facelift. And this car also has the HTS exhaust, and that might potentially be changed to a Muse. And this car has the ASM RSG. So the RSG is a Recaro bucket seat that is only available to the Japanese market, but a lot of people have been bringing them into the US. And then ASM, if you guys don't know, is they're a very big Recaro dealer in Japan, and ASM Autobox. ASM is a shop that you can go to in Japan. Basically, they have a huge wall of Recaros that you can try, and this is the version that they made specifically with Recaro, and it cost a shit ton. So probably about 2,000-ish for one seat, so looking at a pair is like 4,000 or 5,000. I don't remember the price exactly, but that's kind of where your price range is. And I do believe that they are discontinued. Don't quote me on that, but they are one of my most favorite seats because the RSG is rather comfortable, but the ASM is that it has the memory foam in the cushions, so it's a lot more comfortable. And so for other exterior features on this car, we're going to have the carbon evasive, well, got caught up there. So EVS Tuning, which is a brand of Evasive Motorsports. They made these GT3-esque race car mirrors for a lot of chassis. So currently off the top of my head, I know obviously the GTR, Supra, and then the S2000. And I don't know what other options they have, but if you guys do like it, you guys can check it out. And this car has a steering wheel, but it's going to be changed out fairly soon because mine steering wheel was on order. And then This car currently is sitting at 700 horsepower, so wheel horsepower, and this car was done by SP Engineering. And SP Engineering is also local to us in Southern California, so you guys can go check out their work there. They do a lot of work on GTRs, exotics, basically a lot of the higher end cars. And this car is currently actually on bags, it's on airlift, and the reason being that this car was a SEMA show car. And that front lip, so you don't really want to be fucking up that front lip. But this kit is going to be changed fairly soon for a cup kit. So basically a cup kit is regular suspension, and then you have kind of like an airbag or cup thing, swivel thing that's on top, so you can raise the front end and lift it, but you still have the functionality of a coilover. So moving on from there, this car is currently on R888s, but it's running 315s, or sorry, 315s were causing issues for people who were launching their cars. I don't know the reason behind this, but with the 325s, it's fine. And so the owner, Andy, told me that he's going to be switching out to 325s in the rears fairly soon. So although the GTR is a four-wheel drive or all-wheel drive car, you can run a staggered setup, and that's kind of how they come, and a lot of people do choose to do a staggered setup. Once again, you can go square, but yeah, personally, I would prefer square for the concaveness of the face, but then again, this is all personal preference and different driving styles, so you can decide whether or not you want to do staggered or square all around, depending on your personal preference and your driving style, and there are many factors, so there's no right or wrong way to do it. Back to the wide body, this wide body consists mostly of carbon, and I don't know if Varis had done any wind tunnel testing on this kit, but aesthetically it does look like one of the best kits to me personally. One of the other kits that I did like a lot before was the Ben Sopra kit. Very impartial to the Liberty Walk kits, just because the execution is not as clean as one would say, that as the lines don't really do it for me. And possibly there might be a BBK, so big brake kit, coming for this car as well, as it's currently sitting on the OEM Brembos, which for the most part, for most track days and most amateur drivers, it's sufficient, but a lot of people do tend to change out the rotors, and because AP offers the J-hook for this car, which I like the J-hook just because it looks good, but we'll see, because the owner's going to have a new build coming fairly soon possibly, so GTR might be put on the back burner. And so this is sort of an educational series on the cars and some of the modifications available. And one thing I did miss out on was the roll bar is going to be from Titan Motorsports. So just, if you're into GTRs or looking to mod your GTR, I hope I can provide some insight on what parts there are, because as an amateur or as a noob or as someone fresh in the industry or getting into this hobby, there's a lot of times where you don't really know what parts are available for your car, and you see something you like but you don't know what brand it is. So I'm hoping to provide more insight and more of an educational experience for people watching this channel, because I am very passionate about cars, but I do much prefer modified cars because I don't like driving the same car as someone else. So I'm not a purist. I can appreciate everyone's different styles, and this is some of the stuff that I prefer, so I thought I'd share, and maybe you guys can learn something about modifications. So yeah, if you guys like this video, then you guys know what to do. I'm not going to say the cliche shit.